basically waited since February 2018, and we finally have a new tag for 2026. So we are now officially legal to drive this car until February 2026, which is a huge thing for me. So now that I officially have tags, I'm actually just going to take it for a rip. I was a little nervous previously driving it around, that's why I was kind of just locally, but I think I'm going to take it for a rip now and just get some data. So this is how I've been capturing majority of the driving content. Yeah, just kind of suction cup, GoPro, go for it.
Take her away, Ian.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So I was sitting about 204 and I'm already down 2 degrees as soon as I pull up. So I'm at 202 right now. We're doing something right. What I broke, boys.
I'm an excellent driver.
Quick little rip. Let's get into what I think is happening. We've still got some leaks that we've got to sort out. Everything else looks solid. Temps were okay. I pushed it pretty hard. Yeah, I definitely heard a different noise, so I'm going to get it up on jack stands and just go through it all. Maybe the electric water pump moved. That's always a possibility. I don't think it has. I don't know. I just heard a few new noises. There's definitely something squeaking in the front. I don't know what that is. It's annoying as well. Calling it quits tonight. I am really sweaty. But I drove it legally for the first time. It's been a few days since the last clip that you saw where I heard the sound, parked it up, left the car. Tonight, I'm going to get the car on jack stands, front and rear.
Here we go again.
And basically strap a GoPro to my head, and we're going to walk through and see what we find underneath. It could be the squeak in the front, and then whatever that new loud clunking noise is in the rear. My hope is that it's just a loose bolt somewhere, but also I might turn the engine on and make sure that there's no weird noises coming from the engine too. Hey. Wave to the time-lapse camera. Thumbs up, I'm going for it.
Goddamn son of a bitch!
Alright, I don't see anything loose or debris. Oh, I see some potential rubbing on the tire. Oh, that's nothing. Okay, so where's it rubbing? Oh, on the hose. I mean, I can still kind of push those in there a little bit better. This is where the clunk was happening. So everything's tight here. Maybe the drive shaft? Oh, this bad boy's come loose a little. Tighten that up. This one's fine. These are all fine. I don't foresee any of the gearbox ones going. Maybe the exhaust. This is all in there pretty good. This is tight. Alright, so let's go to the other side. Alright, let's see. Anything crazy in here? This I feel like is where we're gonna see something crazy. So there's definitely some flex in that. What's this? Drive shaft grease? Yeah? There's definitely something there. Man, filthy hands. This hasn't cracked. I don't see any cracks through there. I definitely see oil seeping. So, we've definitely got oil leaks. We've got oil. Everything's pretty crudely attached. Oh, there's a lot of oil there. That's transmission fluid. So, and I don't see anything out of here, which I would see if I had a rear main seal go. It would basically be leaking out of there, which it's not. It's leaking out of here, I think. Definitely think this needs to be modified. This is all in, but we definitely have like oil seeping out. So, number one. That's definitely oil. That's transmission fluid. And that's grease. So we've got, what, 3 fluids that are coming out? Okay, so we've gotten somewhere. Suspension looks all tight. None of this is I mean, this is moving. This will move because it swivels. Like everything else is. Maybe this needs to pop up and over, because before I think it was resting up and in, whereas now it's like kind of fallen out from under the bumper. Before I had it resting into the bumper. So maybe that moved. Could have caused this to move a little, which would be... Oh, that's a clunking noise.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Ah ha ha. Okay, that's the noise I heard, boys. Okay, so before I had this kind of resting inside the bumper. You can kind of see like it was slotted up. I might just pull the bumper and push it back on. But this is 100% that noise. Oh, and we fucking... Oh, that's what happened. So I hit the engine cradle. The car is too low in the rear. Oh, okay. Well, I absolutely hate adjusting the rear of this. But I think first things first, we're just going to loosen this up enough to tuck this back up and under. And I think that will at least alleviate this clinking. Bumper it is. That's a much easier fix than I thought it was. I really truly thought that I'd done some damage to the engine, which, to be fair, still possible. We still have excessive crankcase pressure. I may have overfilled the oil a while back. Who knows? There's also a possibility that there's a little bit of water in the oil. Not from a head gasket, but in a previous video, remember when the seal on this, I was filling it up with water and the seal around this wasn't sealed properly, and so water was actually leaking potentially into the pan. That is still of a concern, so I definitely need to drain the oil. Where are we oil level? We are fine. I definitely had excessive crankcase pressure previously, because the last time I took this out, it was like oil was pushed right up it. So adding this little breather helped a lot with the oil, but I still think I want to do an oil change and basically go through all of that. Okay, but first things first, we're just going to loosen up the bumper, get the exhaust tucked under, and then I think that's going to be our best bet. I hit the, that's exactly what happened. So we hit this, it must have dislodged this up and down or whatever, and then that caused this that I was hearing. Everything else looks good. I just wore the GoPro for a good like 20 minutes, getting everything bolted back up and in the right spot for the exhaust to not have that clang. And it didn't record anything, so there's no POV of that. But we have everything is in tight, not moving anywhere. Bumpers back on, all nice and tight, not moving anywhere. Next thing is rotating this a little bit. This is my Hall effect sensor for the vehicle speed sensor. It is gapped appropriately. The ring is spaced evenly throughout. So I should now be able to very easily get my calibration of the speedo done. I've also moved this further over. I've twisted it a lot better. It is now further away from the alternator belt. We're feeling good about that. The breather setup is working. I'm happy with this little dinghy and this kind of love me a valve cover breather there. I will change to the Dash 10 ORBs that are from Skunk 2 and run the catch can again back over in the corner here. But for the time being, this seems to be helping the crankcase pressure breathing situation. I'm still missing my toe bolts. I'm not happy with how the ride height is set, you know, all those fun stuff. And we are rubbing the coolant hose here. So I may have to mount those. I might drill a hole and put them up higher. But I think that that's pretty reasonable to expect. Everything else looks solid. But yeah, I'm gonna call it quits here. I still need to go through the front of the car, so we'll do that in the next clip that you see. But right now I'm going inside, having a shower, and going to bed. This week has been extremely draining on me. I'm gonna have a moment right now. But I'm basically going through a lot of testing to figure out why my mind does what it does. Some things have always been off, I guess, but I'm actually taking the steps to figure out what that is so that I can be a better person for my family and so that we can have a better quality of life. That rests on me as a parent, as a husband, and I just want you to know that if you're in a similar boat as me, there's always a safe space for you in this community that I'm trying to create on the Discord. So please feel free to jump in there if you resonate or if you want to do dumb shit to Porsches. Porsche. This is now the Porsche or the, what was the other one? Ponder. Seriously, if you guys do need support in any way, feel free to reach out. As someone that has a life outside of cars, it's very difficult to find time for the cars. This has taken me 3 years, basically off on, raising a kid, having a family, having a house, all that kind of stuff. It's not magic YouTube money. This build has taken a lot out of me, both emotionally, mentally, physically, just all of it. So I'm just like, the fact that I can now get in it, start it, run it up to temperature and drive it is really weird to me. It's extremely meaningful. I feel like I've shown my kid what persistence does, like how it kind of just evolves. And, you know, now we're at a point where we can actually iterate, and we're doing nut and bolt checks, and we're figuring out fan systems. Like, it's crazy to me, and I love every second of it. And I'm just glad that I can document this. And also just be human for a second. You know, this shit's hard. Like, building something in your garage that's like, you know, it's filled with life, right? Like, this is my life in here. And then there's this thing that takes up all this room that I've spent countless hours on and away from my family. And, you know, it's just a lot sometimes. And I have to take a pause and remember, like, I have done this and it works. You know, there's some teething issues, but what do you expect when you put a Honda engine in a car that was never built for a water motor? Like, it just shouldn't happen. Anyway, I've rambled way too much. I'm going to go have a shower now. I'm going to have a rest, look at some haltech data logs tomorrow, and just kind of see where I'm at. But I think I figured out the rattle. We did the nut and bolt check across the back. Everything is tight. Now we just look at the front, try the squeak in the front, see what that is, and kind of just go from there. So I'll see you tomorrow.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So it's the next day. I'm going to jump onto the haltech, and my research last night, basically what the racing guys are doing with these K20s, K24s, is the thermostat is completely open at 155 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to have to mimic that with the way that I flow the EWP, as well as the way that I turn on the fans. So the idea being that my fan control happens at 160, let's say, and instead of ramping from 160 10% to 215 100% on the EWP duty cycle, I'm actually going to move that all the way down and basically have the EWP duty cycle being 100% at around 160 as well. So I don't want to fully mimic the 155 open thermostat, but I do want to get those base temperatures staying at around 155. So yeah, as you can see, we're at 10% duty cycle at 160, and then we kind of ramp it up to 100% at 195. I actually want to basically I'm going to add a few more steps in here. So 120, 140, 160, and then it'll just hold 100% across. So I'm going to get that done now.
It's hacking time.
So as you can see, I now have 0 for up to 100 Fahrenheit, and then 115 I kick it on at 10. So I basically give the engine an opportunity to sit with some water and heat up, and then I kick it on. So coolant temperature sensor right now is at 75 degrees. We haven't turned on the car at all. And then obviously that'll ramp up pretty quickly to 100, 115. I might actually make 100 10%. I'm gonna do that. So 10, 25. Basically need to do this, insert a value 80.
I'm gonna have to go into hardcore hacking mode.
And that should be 0. So you can kind of see how quickly that does what it needs to do. So it's below 80, it's at 0%. Car starts up, it'll get to 100, or it'll get above 80 pretty quickly, and it'll fall into this 100, and it'll be 10%. That's the way we're setting it up. And so I've set the same thing for the thermofans. When I hit 160, I enable the fans. So both thermofan 1 and thermofan 2 are set up exactly the same. So 160 they come on, and 155 they stop. So that should have us having a base temperature that is colder and more or less matches what the 155 degree fully open thermostat does from hybrid racing. Okay, so before I do anything else, I need to go over the front strut in the wheel well on the passenger side, just to make sure that nothing is loose there, and that's what's causing the squeak. Other than that, radium fuel cell, need to go over that, make sure none of the welds have cracked, all that kind of good stuff. And then get the car on the floor and go for a drive.
One eternity later.
So I went through everything. I'm gonna throw up the time lapse. Throw up. So I've just gone through everything in the front. Everything looks tight. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I'm going to lower it now, put it on the floor, and just go for a drive. So this is it, basically. I think this is the right height for the car. I do think that once the suspension settles, it's a little bit too low. But ultimately, I'm going to throw the GoPro in and we can go for a day drive. I'm just going to do a few laps of the neighborhood, make sure that the temperatures are all good, and then we can kind of see what the haltech data log says. And I'll probably end the video here with some daytime driving after fixing the clunking that I heard. I'm sitting at 211 right now. Air temps 125. Okay, drop down to 210, just sitting here. Okay, cut out on me. That's something. Whoa, coolant temp just went up to 214, 213, okay, 212, 211, 210, 209. Okay, so it's dropping, it's just, when I'm under load, it just does not like it. Okay, so even with the EWP changes, even with the fan control changes, I still saw 217 under heavy load while driving it for 25-ish minutes. That's not acceptable to me. Before I go and start ripping out the radiators and stuff, I'm going to try 2 more things. A Track Tough swell pot and overflow, and then I might actually grab a Mazir 55 gallon per minute pump. I'll have to redo the fittings for the water, but it gives me an opportunity to drain everything, flush the system, and then kind of go from there. So I'm not calling it quits yet. I want this to run cold. I was looking at Katil's video of him driving his K-swapped Civic. You know, on highway rips he was seeing 177. So like, I should be seeing the same. Mind you, I have a lot smaller radiators, and that may actually be the problem. It's just there's not enough air to get through those radiators. So we're going to continue with that. I'm going to try the water situation. I don't think flow is a problem. Like it moves. That pump moves a lot of water. I guess I'm just kind of clutching at straws. Maybe the different swell pot and the overflow will help. But otherwise, yeah, I guess I could probably do the splitter and direct air better. That might help, but I'm just trying to think of, like, you know, I don't want to have to get a King cooler from CSF or 2 of them and figure out a new mounting system and all that. I'd like to be able to run these radiators. I do know that I could use an Alpine radiator here. That is always an option, to go to a triple radiator setup, just like Porsche do on their 997 GT3s and stuff. That may help, because that'll get a bunch of airflow, and the inner radiators, I mean, they really don't get enough air while I'm driving. I think that is the actual problem. You know, the bumper hole, I think that if I can focus on doing that in the next couple of episodes, we're probably going to have a better system. So maybe we actually just forget everything I've said, and we focus on getting a splitter and ducting done properly in the front bumper. In saying that, thank you for watching. I appreciate it a lot. Subscribe, like, comment, do all the fun stuff. Ask me questions. It's not just for me. I'm documenting it for everyone else that wants to try and do something like this. So yeah, ask me questions, guys. And I'll see you in the next video.